Hi everybody, I'm Jessica from Chambray Blues. I am working on some machine embroidery and I thought I would hop on and just give you some tips on embroidery and update you on the progress of my project. So what I'm doing is making a bathrobe that has embroidery on the back of it, and my fabric is the very silky satin fabric, which doesn't embroider well. So I've decided to embroider it on cotton batiste instead, and then applique it onto the satin, which should work better. So a few things I've learned with this project is the backing that I was using was the incorrect one. So some things you have to know when you start embroidery is that you always use a backing. I prefer the tearaway backing. There are several different widths and lots of different vendors that make it. This one is called Tearaway Light. It's wider, it's 11.5 inches wide versus like 8 inches for a smaller roll. The Pelon one that I have here is only about 8 inches wide, and this one does not stick to the fabric. So that was my first mistake. I tried that and it just didn't embroider well. The stitches were uneven and there were lots of puckers going on. So then I went out and bought this. So this one has a sticky back to it, so it's easy to stick onto your fabric and it doesn't move while the machine is embroidering. And it's doing a far better job of embroidering. The next thing that I learned was you can resize your designs and you can also flip the images. There are different buttons on here that do that for you. I can't show you that right when I'm in the middle of doing the stitching, but you can also manipulate them and move them around wherever you want them in the hoop. So for my project, this may not be the exact location of the finished embroidery. I'm cutting each of them out to applicate them anyway, so I can rotate them a little bit more if I want to get them exactly where I want them to go. Also, the design, which this particular one is a peony that I got off of an Etsy shop, and I'll leave the link for that in the video here. This design has multiple threads. It's got 5 different colors of thread. There are 4 pinks, these 3, and then the pink that's currently on my machine. 2 greens and then a white. You can change the embroidery colors if you choose. So I'm trying to be consistent. The machine actually shows you what colors go where. So if you look over here, it says stopped for color change. So I'm just going to exit out of that right now. I'm not going to change my thread quite yet, but I'll show you how that works. There we go. You can see it a little better. So here, these are all my embroidery colors. And I know which design I'm embroidering because it'll say 2, number 5, 2, number 6, 2, number 7. So there's a little tiny blue dot that shows up to show which part of the design is currently being stitched. So I just finished the design in the lower corner here, which was design number 2. Now I'm moving on to design number 3, which is the upper one. My first color is actually white. So I will show you how that works to change the threads here. I have these great handy embroidery scissors. They have a curved tip, if you can see how curved that is. Makes it really easy to get close to the fabric. You want to always trim your threads away as close to the fabric as you can without cutting the thread that's going through the needle. So I cut the thread. I'm removing my thread color, removing the pink. I'm going back to the white. And these machines are very simple to thread. And also has a needle threader, which if you press your foot in the down position, it's easier to reach. The needle threader comes down. The thread comes in, kind of goes across the needle. There's a hook here on the left side, and then I'm pressing the lever to make the clasp go right behind the needle itself, and when I pull it, there's a tiny little hook on the end that will pull the thread into the needle, and then I use the tweezers to pull it through the rest of the way, and my machine is threaded. Alright, so at this point the blue dot is on the peony here right in the center at the top. It's going to start stitching that one, and all I have to do now is to hit start, and the machine will automatically go to that position in the back part of the hoop and start stitching. It'll make a few stitches and then it'll say stop to cut thread ends. So you want to get all of these threads out of the way so the machine doesn't get them caught in the stitches, cause problems. Make sure you're cutting just the thread coming up through the fabric and not the one through the needle, and then push start, and it will continue. One more thing, you can tell the progress of your design. So this number here tells you how many stitches, and the number on this side says how many you have to go, or the total number of stitches. You can kind of see where you are in the design. So I will have more videos on this particular project when I get to the sewing and the applique part of it. I will share those with you, and you can find more of my videos at chambrayblues.com. Thanks, have a great day.